Sequestro Express is the fastest growing crime in Latin America.
Vamos a jugar la ruleta criolla.
They kidnap you for 2 or 3 hours and they ask your family for small amounts of money.
It's very random.
Yo lo veo a la ruleta, tú eres el único que participa.
You never know what's going to happen.
De que hay un ganador.
Caracas is 2.5 hours away from Miami. There's like 35 million Latinos in the United States. Many of them came because of the kidnappings. It's really important for you to understand what's going on in Latin America.
¿No será peligroso estar aquí?
Coño, Carla, me siento mal. Van a dejar la paranoia y quédate tranquila, sí. Upa.
There's 2 types of kidnappings in Latin America. The sequestro is one that's usually done for a lot more money, can last weeks, days, even years. And then sequestro express is something that's very quick and easy. I mean, you can do 3 sequestro expresses in one night. It could be anything from stopping at 5 ATM machines to actually calling the parent.
Aló.
The scary thing is that they pretty much define how big can be the ransom based on, your appearance.
Está bien, lo que le vamos a pedir 100 lucas.
We had people from our crew that got kidnapped. I remember the sister of my stand-in one night, she just came to shoot and she's like, okay, my sister just got kidnapped yesterday.
¿Cuál es el teléfono? ¿Ah? De tu papá, pendeja, no me estás mirando. Dame el teléfono de tu papá, te quiebro la fucking testa de mierda. El teléfono, maldita.
What are the issues really that cause this phenomenon to happen and to happen so often? It is literally an epidemic. Why is this happening? What is the root of it?
It's a reaction of a society that needs to even itself desperately. There's a huge lack of communication between that part of society that has the 80% of the money and that part of society that lives in misery. And the reality is that the solution needs to come from the society. There's no government that can fix this. It's gotta be an entire population dedicated in full to making the poor part of society be living in human conditions.
We have to build the middle class. We have to make that happen in Latin America. Otherwise, just continue to spiral out of control.
One of the things is that with all these problems, everybody really likes living there and everybody thinks it's really worth fighting for.
La mitad del mundo se muere de hambre, mientras la otra mitad se muere de gordura. Solo quedan 2 opciones. O enfrentamos al monstruo o le invitamos a comer.
One of the things that really interested me about the Sequestro Express was the fact that, it touched upon a microcosm of what is happening in Latin America, and all in one car. You have good, bad, ugly, in every form in this car, even though they all come from different parts of life.
Tienes razón, por eso es que yo siempre lo he dicho que las mamitas de así, papá, le gusta que las secuestren.
No es que nos guste, coño. Uno como que evalúa las vainas.
Some people think that we glorify the crime. Other people think that we kind of glorify them. And I think that we tried to show the humanity of both groups. And we tried to be as balanced as possible, revolving it around the actual crime.
Estás hablando tú con ese vestido que porte, esa ropa de pinta, una ciudad que se está muriendo de hambre.
Mira, para tu información, yo trabajo gratis.
I saw that this was something that needed to be seen by the world, and I knew that, I just needed to play my cards right and do all the 20 million decisions that came later with the right instinct, and that's what we did. I'm gonna stay here because I want to watch the action live, so I'm not gonna go to the monitor.
Sequestro Express actually started off as a 20-minute short. Once we started just fleshing the whole thing out and he started putting the budget together, he was like, why am I doing this? It's gonna cost so much money just to make a short. Why not get some more money and make it into a feature film? And that's exactly what happened.
Lo inventó Prico Pesa, mientras esto en la cabeza, la rumba pa' generales.
acción.
To shoot in dangerous places in Caracas, to shoot in the ghettos and stuff, sometimes you can't count on the police security. You know, you need the gang members and you need the opposite gang and you need a little bit of everyone. And we shot also in the center of the political guerrilla, and we shot at the center of the opposition movement, and you know, everybody was thinking and suspecting we were from the other side, but we were always clear that, you know, we had a social message and we were not into politics.
It was a tough shoot. It was very tough. There was no downtime at all. The scenes were violent. Normally in another movie, if you have a violent scene, then between takes you can walk it off, you know, you stretch. But here we were like so contained in the car without moving for 6 hours, you know, till lunchtime or till wrap time. And then after the movie was over, you know, after the day was over, you would go home and it was still very violent.
Caracas is extremely violent and extremely fast, but it's also extremely colorful. It has so many flavor to it. And I thought of showing as much as possible of the city because it's important for understanding the story to see where it's taking place. And I feel the universe in which this takes place is part of that hectic and that seemingly out of control, but actually extremely controlled language. And that was my idea, that you were a part of this extreme situation and in this extreme world. And in a way, I felt the audience should be a part of the victim's point of view. We shot the movie in digital video and DV cam specifically.
I chose DV cam for aesthetic reasons.
The action is in the movement.
And the only way to accomplish that was using DV cam with like really small cameras. We would shoot sometimes with 3 cameras at the same time, one in the pedals, one through the sunroof, one in the hood.
It was such a creative group, this crazy and beautiful ideas. Created special rigs for the cameras.
A camera that lets you roll for 40 minutes and let the actors just go on and improvise and get in character. I think anyone inside a car for 40 minutes where 5 people are yelling at each other is going to create a great performance.
A mí no me contradiga. A mí no me contradiga.
¿Qué pasa, Ale?
¿Pasa de qué? Estúpida, sigue manejando.
Corte.
It was a project that was blessed from beginning to end. It's a million times better than I originally planned.
This film addresses the root of the problem of kidnappings, and you know, you get to know both sides, and I don't think that's ever been done before.
Latin America is the United States' backyard. The more those problems grow and the more those governments turn over to governments that are very much
against what the American dream is,
the more it's going to become our problem.
Hopefully this movie will, you know, help change some realities in Latin America. When you live with so much violence and aggression, you know, on an everyday basis, you forget that there's other ways of living.
I think this film is a very good window for the American audience to understand a lot of what's going on right here in the backyard.